Hey y'all, quick note. While My Hero Academia was created for kids, this podcast is not safe for work or children. Additionally, this particular episode contains thirsty comments that apply to adult depictions of characters only, or to concepts that have been disconnected from the characters themselves and are being discussed on their own. All trigger warnings and spoilers for each episode can be found at our website, myheroanalysis.com. Thanks for listening!
Hey y'all, this is My Hero Analysis, a podcast about My Hero Academia, aka Boku no Hero Academia. We are three grown adults who mine Japanese children's cartoons for serotonin because God knows our brains aren't making it naturally.
Hello, everyone. I am tired.
Yes.
I just started a new position at work at my job that is already kind of new still, so that's been interesting. It's a fun position. I like the work I'm doing, but holy God, it's a lot.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll adjust.
It's fine. It just takes a little bit of time.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm Nicole. I've somehow lost my chapstick, but that doesn't matter right now. I don't have a new position because obviously I would not take one. And I spent like last weekend watching nothing but giant monster movies, like the new Godzillas and both Pacific Rims. And that is like the most productive weekend I've had in a while. But y'all never answered me when I kept asking why the Pacific Rim uniforms had abs.
I told you it's because gay.
But
yeah,
no, there's no reason, gay or straight, for the costumes to have abs.
It's for aesthetic.
It's a bad aesthetic. It makes no sense.
It's a callback to a very, very infamous Batman film, which I will also have to show you. I'm joking. It's probably not actually a callback.
The one with the nipples?
Really interesting. Yeah.
Bat nipples.
No lace burden. Shoot.
But yeah, I think it's like, oh, they're superheroes. Superheroes have abs, kind of a thing.
So we are going to, what is it? I've forgotten the word. Oh my God. The one that's not shoelaces or a zipper. Velcro. They just Velcroed some ab patches onto their costumes.
Yes.
Pretty much,
exactly.
Yeah.
No, I disagree.
It makes no sense, but it makes sense.
All right, fine.
There.
All right, fine.
Del Toro was like, how can I make this as horny as possible?
Del Toro is a master at making things horny.
Everything is horny to that dude.
Oh, yeah.
We love him for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's amazing. Hey, y'all, it's Maria. I don't know what my life has been. Have I been productive? I don't know. I've done a lot. Oh yeah, I've gotten a series of bad luck lately.
Oh God, yeah.
It's been a time. It's just a lot, but it's fine. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm just blaming it all on Mercury retrograde or Gatorade or whatever it is now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I did get a new idea for a new book, so that's exciting.
Yes.
Hell yes. Love a new project.
Yeah, Fern and I kind of took over our group chat, and Nicole was just watching.
I was vibing.
Look,
I was loving every minute of it.
You mentioned Westerns.
Yeah.
I'm not responsible for what happened after.
Fern just blacked out and was just typing away. It was great.
Oh yeah, in all caps, as per usual.
I'm really excited to start working on this, though. So maybe in the future, I might have to promote myself out there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
If I ever finish it, because we all know I don't finish anything except this podcast.
Yay!
All right. Well, as we mentioned in our housekeeping notification that went out last week, we are changing up the format of these episodes quite a bit, mostly because, as we've already mentioned, all of our schedules have just, there's just too much going on. Life keeps happening. So we're just changing things up, and that's fine. It's okay. We are free spirits who can't be tamed. And if you haven't listened to the housekeeping notification and you have no clue what I'm talking about, just pause this episode real quick, go listen to that, and then come back. Oh, good, you're back. So this week we are discussing episode 17 of the anime, Strategy, Strategy, Strategy. And the accompanying manga chapters for this episode are chapters 27 and 28. So how we're going to do things this time around is that I'm going to give a very brief synopsis of the episode instead of like a full minute by minute timeline. And then I'll hand it over to Nicole, who's going to guide us through all the points we really want to discuss, and then yell at us when we get too off topic, because let's face it, it's going to happen.
Yeah. But will I yell at you, or will I also join you in being off topic? It can't be predicted. So, I mean, let's see.
Yeah, putting you in charge of putting any of us in charge of keeping us on task was never a good idea.
It's fine.
Let's go. Let's do it. We got it.
Yeah, let's do it. We
Yes,
got this.
new format. Let's dive into it. So last week's episode was about the second half of the obstacle course. And this episode is about the second challenge. And this is the cavalry battle. Let's go. So Midnight breaks down the rules. Basically, kids fight in teams for headbands. The headbands all have point values printed on them. And then whoever has the most points, which you figure out by counting up, all the headband totals, wins. And then the kids get 15 minutes to form teams.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure this whole cavalry battle thing is completely familiar to Japanese viewers and listeners, but I, as a dumbass American, had never heard of this game activity thing.
Same.
But the only thing Americans have that's close to it is pool chicken, which is not the same at all. So yeah, I was confused, but now I love it. Also, the flashback to middle school is peak Izuku as they're picking teams. Oh, that poor child.
Poor baby.
Yeah, Nicole, you're right. It's used in certain Japanese anime. It's a relative to pulled chicken, but just a little more complex.
Yeah, when I was first doing the timeline for this episode before we decided to change formats, I actually wrote out all the rules. And then, when you watch it play out, it's really simple, but then when you actually write everything down, it looks really complicated.
Oh, you poor overachiever.
I know. I don't know why I did that.
You did not need to do that.
It's the burnt gifted kid coming out.
Yeah.
I don't really fit into that category, but it's okay.
You were gifted. No bad self-talk.
But, no. Okay. That's a whole other thing. I was I never really got the whole gifted kid mentality because I was too busy fucking up every aspect of my life. So my grades are really up and down.
Honey.
It's okay. I got it together.
Yeah.
Childhood is hard for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, childhood. Oh boy.
Yeah. Speaking of difficult childhoods, this anime.
Very smooth. Very nice transition.
Thank you. I really shoehorned that in. So back to the. So as I mentioned earlier, the kids get 15 minutes to form teams. And everyone just immediately goes to Katsuki and they want to be on his team because, he's got a really good quirk and he's really smart. And even the people that don't like him, they still know that he's good at what he does. Mm-hmm. But his reaction is so funny. He's just who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? Who you is?
He has no idea.
He has no idea who they are, what their names are, what their quirks are. Zero clue. And there's a point where Kirishima runs up to Katsuki and he's like, so I tried to get on Todoroki's team, but his is full. Will you take me instead? And just what I could have had. Mm-hmm. I was so close.
Yep.
Yeah, your ship would have flown in the wind, sails out magnificently.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been great. but I'll stick to my pining. So Katsuki eventually does agree to let Kirishima be on his team. And the way Kirishima does this is really interesting. And I wanted to point it out because he like kind of appeals to Katsuki's sense of tactics and competitive spirit. And it's like he's reading from a Katsuki manual. Like he's got this guy all figured out and he knows exactly how to play him. And this is not the last time we'll see him do something like this. And I'm just like really here for it. I kind of love it a lot.
And then Fern rather stupidly allowed me the space to go on and on about my original ship on this show, which was Kiribaku.
Stupidly or brilliantly?
I mean, it has been really long since this was actually my main ship on this show, but I mean, I had no problem writing like 2 whole paragraphs about it. So
it's still one of your main ships.
Oh yeah.
It is, not gonna lie, but yeah. So sweet noble boy Kirishima knew he was going to have the best chance of winning with Todoroki because obviously he's like the strongest on paper. And I mean, they probably have some sort of vibe going on after USJ. But like when it's clear Shoto's already made up his team, he goes back to the boy he's been crushing on way harder than on Shoto. Because their strategies really do match up very well. And Katsuki doesn't like immediately throw him off because that they did bond at USJ. I mean, I say bond very lightly here. It is actually because their relationship was actually formed in the adrenaline crucible of life or death. But basically what Kirishima does is he shows Katsuki like what he can do for him without Katsuki needing to make any changes to himself. And this is like just what Katsuki needs. He's like never had this sort of support. And of course, because he's Katsuki, he does not realize he's already getting it from Izuku. So the Kiribaku ship truly sailed here and it's beautiful.
That was excellent.
I love it. Yeah. I knew Nicole had it in the park.
Yep.
Your love for Bakugo. All
my good son. Oh, he needs so many more friends like Kirishima.
Oh God, yes. So while Katsuki is, bombarded by choices, Mineta is having a really hard time finding a team because he's fucking gross and everyone hates him. And then Izuku is also kind of having a hard time finding a team, mostly because he's worth 10 million points. So he's just at a major disadvantage there. But then Ochako pairs up with him and it's super cute. And I love their interaction. It's just adorable. It's just them like beaming at each other.
Yeah.
It's sunshine babies. They're so cute. And Ochako's strategy mostly is just run away, hold on to the 10 million point headband, and then win by default, which it's simple, but yeah, fair.
Yeah, it'll work. Also, like Izuku's social anxiety in this moment was like all of my childhood. So I really feel for him. But also back to Grape Bitch for a minute.
Ugh.
His bisexuality should have been obvious to us all because like Shoji was his first bi awakening back in the gym class. So obviously he's going to turn to his sexy octopus man when the girls inevitably turn him down. Like, why didn't we see this before?
Yeah, exactly.
Why?
I debated.
Why did we never pick up on this?
And then I was like, it's gross. I don't want to write about it right now.
Damn you, Horikoshi.
Damn it. Why are you making us analyze the Great Bitch?
I know. So as I was watching this episode, I was like, how did I just notice that Izuku was talking to while Izuku was talking to Ochako, Trashinetta calls his sweat pile urine. And I was
he just thinks his tears.
There's a point where Izuku is sweating so badly that he literally leaves a puddle on the ground around him.
I thought it was tears.
Oh, maybe it was
sweat.
tears.
It's both. It's Izuku.
Yeah, it's Izuku. It's
Izuku.
Both.
Yeah.
And then like Mineta walks by and is just like, is that urine? And it's like, shut up.
No one likes you.
Hated that so much.
I'm so happy I'm making the trash Netta grave.
Yes, he deserves it.
So happy.
One day. So Izuku and Ochako form a team, and Izuku also wants Tenya. But Tenya says no because he doesn't want to use Izuku as a crutch. Harsh, but fair. That's Tenya. So Izuku eventually manages to round his team out with Mei, Hatsume, and Tokoyami.
Yes, and like Hatsume, like hunted him down like a shark, and I love her. And Ochako is just like over in the corner being bisexual as well. Like, you poor jealous thing. You struggling. Everybody is struggling in this game.
Oh God, they so are. And then it occurred to me, so I don't know how many people are familiar with the gay people meeting up for brunch look like this meme, but I encourage y'all to go look it up because that is Izuku's team. Like, that's all four of them right there. It's a perfect match.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep. And I'm going to tweet it and bless you all.
I loved it. It made me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, once I saw it, I couldn't unsee it. And then I just giggled and giggled for the rest of the episode.
Hell yeah.
So now Izuku's got his team put together and we see some of the other kids forming their teams. And then we get a new character. This one is Monoma. He is from class 1B. He is often hilarious, but then he often also takes his comments too far and just becomes a total asshole. And his whole thing is that he's sick of class 1A. He just really wants class 1B to shine. And then, of course, he approaches Izuku and just adds his challenge to the challenge pile.
Yep. Oh, Monoma. We'll get to Monoma.
Oh, Monoma.
This is also like the first actual shot in the show that we get of Endeavor in person. And my first instinct was like, shall we rage now or are we going to wait for the actual trauma dump? So...
And I was like, we shall rage when the trauma dump happens. I feel like this is the way to fully express how much we feel.
Oh, yes. I'm ready.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll have more impact then.
Yes. Okay, let's go.
So then
we'll leave him to burn for the moment.
Yes. So then all the kids have formed their teams and the game starts, and just right away, as Izuku predicted, everyone just rushes right at him because they want his headband. So they go with Ochako's runaway strategy, and mostly they do this by just launching themselves into the air out of everyone's reach over and over. And they're able to do this because Mei, if y'all will remember, she's the inventor support group person who has all the inventions. So she gives Izuku a jetpack and she gives Ochako some jet boots. And then Ochako's making them weightless to make them more maneuverable. And then Tokoyami and Dark Shadow are like fending off their attacks. So like amazing teamwork, 100%. Good job, kids. Gays keep winning.
Yes.
But then
How dare
has to go and freaking ruin everything. He sticks Ochako's jet boot to the ground using one of his balls. Oh God, every time I have to use that phrase, I feel ill. And so, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
The ball just gave you an illness. It's fine.
It really did. And then like, in order to break the ball's hold on that boot, they have to basically just break it in order to get back into the air. And then while they're in the air, Katsuki just launches himself after Izuku. But he's blocked by Tokoyami midair. And then Sero has to do some cool Spider-Man tape action and like pull him back to the group.
Oh, Katsuki, you can't just yeet yourself at people.
Yeah, you can't just leave your team, kid.
Oh, my poor son.
And so then President Mike gives a halftime call and there is a major upset. So while everyone else was going for Izuku and his like big prize headband, Monoma was going around stealing Class 1A's headbands. So his team has accumulated all these points and they're in second place behind Izuku's team. And now most of Class 1A has absolutely 0 points whatsoever. And so
it's a good strategy.
It is. It's a really good strategy. And Monoma like does his thing, and he's mocking class 1A for their single-mindedness, which is totally valid. He's correct, and they needed a little reality check. But then he this is peak Monoma. So right after he does something funny and awesome, he like tries to trigger Kasuki by bringing up the sludge guy incident, which is super fucked up.
Yeah, it's terrible, sir.
Yeah, but that's peak Monoma. Like that's him all over. He's every single time we see him on screen, he's going to do something like that.
Yeah. And like, does Kirishima hate Monoma because he purposely triggered his boyfriend? I think so.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely one of the reasons. Like, yeah, I mean, God, those two couldn't be more different.
Yeah. I love their little hateness that they have, their hate relationship going on. But also, yeah, I do have to point out, and I hate that I have to point this out in this moment when he just triggered my son. You will hate Monoma like until you love him. And I will not be saying when this change of heart occurs because it surprises everyone when it happens. So you're welcome.
Retweet. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, Monoma, he's an interesting dude, complicated character. We'll definitely be seeing more of him in the future. So as I mentioned, Izuku's team is up in the air, and Ochako's, one of her jet boots is broken. They do manage to land using only one boot, but it's really difficult for Ochako to land them like that. So Izuku realizes that they'll have to switch strategies and actually fight instead of running away. And then the episode ends with Shoto appearing for his promised face-off against Izuku. And this just reinforces Izuku's realization that evasion isn't going to work anymore. He's going to have to face this challenge head on.
Yep. And that is like a big theme moment right as the episode ends. It was beautiful.
And that's the episode. That went so much quicker. Holy shit.
Yeah.
It was a really good episode and really straightforward. It was beautiful for this new format.
Yes, it was great. Now that we're done with our shortened timeline, we're going to transition to just like general discussion topics, just stuff that came to mind while we were watching the episode that we wanted to talk about. So that's what we'll be doing now. Oh, sorry, Nicole, should I have let you do that?
Do what?
The whole discussion topics intro. I forgot that I'm supposed to be handing this off to you.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, most of these were put in by you anyway, so you can do this one and then we'll just smooth it out as we get used to it.
Okay, sounds good. Sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry, hon. You're good.
Alrighty. So discussion topic number 1. So the 10 million point headband, right?
It's ridiculous.
Yes! It's fucking ridiculous. And I was watching this episode and I was starting to wonder if Toshi was the one who suggested doing that. So that like whoever won the first round would get like a taste of what it's like to be him. Because, you know, he's got powers and skills far above everyone else's. And it puts a lot of pressure on him and puts like a huge ass target on his back. But then there's also no way he could have predicted absolutely that Izuku would win the first challenge. Or maybe he was just really hoping he would. Or maybe I'm nuts and Toshi had nothing to do with it. And this is just something the staff did to fuck with the kids.
I mean, both can be true because now this headcanon is now also confirmed for me. But also, I feel like it could be like Toshi's first success at like being one of the cool kids in the staff room by coming up with this torturous method. Like they both work. It's great.
I love that image. Oh, I love that.
I completely agree. The excessive amount of points just really give off Toshi vibes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Just imagine like they're in like the staff room and they're sitting everywhere. And usually Toshi doesn't say a whole lot, but then he's like, hey, how about we do this? And then everyone goes, that's a great idea. And then his face just lights up.
And he's so cute. Oh, now I need this scene now. Horikoshi, are you listening yet? You better be. We're great at this. I'm sure you have plenty of time to listen to this one little podcast.
If that ever happens, I think we're just gonna collectively like scream.
Yeah, and we'll never stop screaming because Sensei noticed us.
We're gonna get sued for defamation.
I mean, that too. It's fine.
But yeah. So then point number 2. So Okay, this is purely me. So, the cavalry battle formation that they get into is like there's one person on top and they're like the leader, and they're all being held up by like the other 2 to 3 people. And in the anime and in the manga too, they take their shoes off and they're just in their socks. And when I first noticed that, finally, I think Nicole had to point it out. I was like, I don't understand how sweaty, fungusy, dirty socks are better than sneakers. But I also hate feet, so I am very biased.
Yeah. No, this is just all you, because I didn't give it a second thought. And it's not even worse or better than pool chicken, because there's a lot more fungusy action in pool chicken. So
God, let's talk about pools.
let's not.
So I kind of just went a little crazy on this.
Yes.
No, you actually took it seriously, and we thank you for it.
Yes.
You're welcome. So you have to take into consideration that there are people supporting them. So shoes can be really hard on people, especially when they're doing it for a long time. They're being held for a long time. I think even cheerleaders have to wear special shoes or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the shoes, sorry, my older sister was a cheerleader. The shoes are, they're a special kind of gym shoe that make gymnastics easier.
Yeah. So it makes sense.
So it's not for the people holding you up.
Yeah. So, I mean, dance shoes are also the same thing. They're flexible, but that was a really weird way of saying flexible.
Flexible. It's beautiful. I love it.
My Spanish accent is coming out. It comes out occasionally. But anywho, so in a sense, it's also probably for the people holding them up. I do agree. Sweaty feet doesn't sound fun. So I'm just going to say that maybe they use knee socks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does make sense, because it would be really easy for the staff to just be like, here's a pack of socks, everyone grab one. And it doesn't trigger my germophobia. So I'm going to go with that.
You're welcome.
You poor thing with your feet. I'm sorry you have to deal with this obsession with feet.
Well, also, I think it's also a cultural difference too, because like here in the US, we don't think of shoes necessarily as dirty, but we definitely think of feet as dirty. So
yeah, and I think it's actually the
same
opposite.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's actually the opposite in Japan, because they don't let their shoes touch anything of their own.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh yeah, no, they have house shoes that they use specifically for house. They have outside shoes which they use specifically for outside shoes. They have school shoes which are specifically for school. So they switch out their shoes quite often. So that's also another reason why it didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
cultural
definitely
differences.
A cultural difference for sure.
Yes, they are beautiful.
Yes.
They also have heated floors, which I am very jealous about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why did they go? Oh God, they have such cool shit over there.
They think of so many more things than we do, because we're just surviving over here. They have brain space to innovate.
Yeah, we just dying.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
anyway, moving along.
Yeah. So discussion topic number 3. So there's a point in the episode where we see like a staff only, like a break room, and all the heroes that are there to do security work, that's their space to like eat lunch, take breaks, whatever. And so there's a scene there where Death Arms, Conway Woods, and Mount Lady are all just kind of watching the show. And then Death Arms comments that the sports festival is prepping the kids more for hero culture than actual hero work, which I thought was really, really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So he's not just a strong man. He does have a brain in there.
Yes. And then, so there's also a point where we get a shot of Conway like having a hard time drinking from a water bottle. And like, we never see the resolution of that. And like, how does he eat or drink? I need to know, because in one shot, like when we're seeing him from the back, it kind of looks like he's lifting something up on his face. Like, does he have a mouth slot that he has to open manually? Just Horikoshi, can this man eat me out or not? This is important information. It's fine if he can't. It's fine. There are other things that we can do, but like, I need to know. I need to be prepared.
Babe, sweetie, honey, darling, you're horny for a tree. Let's maybe take a deep breath.
So is Horikoshi. Did you see the way he drew him?
I don't see it like you do, so I think it's just you, babe. But I support you, even though I'm confused.
He's also like very honorable and just, I don't know, his whole vibe. I dig it.
He's a tree. He's a tree. Okay. Anyway, we're not gonna get into that. No, we're not. We can't do this every episode. Anyway, it to me, as an objective third-party observer, it just looked like he was raising his water bottle and just running into his mask like you do all the time with your COVID mask. So it's fine. He probably just had to lift up.
Now I have a new question. Do you drink through your COVID mask?
No, you raise your drink to your mouth and you forget your mask is there. So then you have to lift your mask, but you hit your mask. Have you never done that?
So you're thinking that like that plate on his face isn't part of his face. It's part
of his costume. Yeah. I mean, it might be part of his body, but I think he if it is part of his body, it's like not permanent. It's just there.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think like the whole plate is like something that can be removed or at least moved up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I thought too. I hadn't noticed until I read this entire comment. That's all you.
Yeah. You're the one hyperfixating on this tree's ability or non-ability to do the nasty with you in various ways. He's just getting a drink of water. All right.
I think I'm fully justified.
Okay. I will not argue with you on that. I respect your odd choices. So let's just keep it moving along.
All right. Yeah. So the next point. So we mentioned that Katsuki like launches himself into the air to get at Izuku because he's just like so obsessed with winning.
Mm-hmm. I mean, is he obsessed with winning or is he obsessed with his boyfriend?
They're kind of the same thing.
Yeah. I mean,
winning against his boyfriend.
Yeah, it's like his whole personality. Poor thing. Okay, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So yeah, when I saw that, I was like, oh, this reminds me of Camino Ward. And then that other time that same strategy was used, I don't know what we're calling that arc. I call it Izuku's Bad Time Adventure.
Yeah, it's his angst adventure and like the so-called resolution of it. But also, oh my God, it is a fucking parallel to Camino Ward. And like combined with all of Izuku's middle school flashbacks, this whole episode is big Bakudeku angst vibes, like along with Kiri Baku origin story vibes. It's beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you're into like one-sided Bakudeku, this is a good one.
Yeah.
And then when Sero, of course, had to pull Katsuki back to Earth, literally and figuratively, I was just like I mentioned in the last episode, I'm really into all the Spider-Man AUs. I love them. And I really, really want like a fic with Spider-Man Sero and then fanboy Deadpool Izuku. Because the more I think about it, I think it makes more sense for Izuku to be Deadpool. Like he's got that obsession.
Oh yeah.
He's constantly hurting himself, covered in scars.
And he can seriously just go off the deep end and just fully embrace the Deadpool attitude. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I completely see it.
All the muttering to himself. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Just add a little bit more sarcasm to it. He is Wade Wilson. It's beautiful. It's perfect.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
Yeah, he's G-rated Wade Wilson.
Oh, now I need that. Thank you. And not thank you because I don't have time for all this wonderful AU nonsense. Anyway, have you seen the Spider Deku and Venom Bakugo fan art? I think I sent it to you.
Yes, you did send it to me, and it was really good.
Yeah.
There's no way to draw Venom without it being like absurdly horny, though.
Yeah.
So there's a little.
No, I took it as they were adults. It's fine. They were aged up in my head. I don't know if that's what the artist was going for, but the artist themselves may be a minor. I don't know. I don't want to get too deep into it. So they are aged up in my head. It's fine.
I love it. It was great. I was living for it.
Maria is the only calm one. She's like, yes, I can absorb this media without having an existential breakdown. So it's probably just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really loving all the Marvel crossovers. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's nice now. I like before it was kind of but now I think now that we've gotten the development on Spider-Man that we have with like the most recent movie, I see it now. I do.
Yeah, if y'all haven't seen, this is to listeners and to y'all, if you haven't seen the Spider-Man movies with Andrew Garfield, you should absolutely watch them. Like they got panned because they came in way too close after Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, and everyone was like, why is this here?
Yeah.
But they were like, we just did this. But yeah, no, people should watch them. They're extremely good. And they've been my favorite Spider-Man films since I was a kid. So
yeah.
I still want to watch No Way Home. I haven't watched it yet.
Girl.
I know.
You're missing
seen
out.
All the spoilers. That's fine.
You poor thing.
I don't care. I'm the spoiler queen. But yeah, no,
it was pretty good. I had a good time.
Watch it.
Yeah.
Watch it this weekend since I'm not as busy as I normally am.
Good.
For once. I know.
That was more dramatic than I meant it to be.
I'm just like pet sitting for someone. That's it.
Good job. Watch the movie and rest. All right. Next point.
Yes,
I'm taking my job seriously.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm channeling Ida.
Yeah. All right. So our final point. This is also, again, me. I ended up making all the points here. That will not be the case in the future.
Yeah.
It's a little awkward.
They were all good points though. So we didn't want to change a single thing. So.
Well, thank you. But yeah, my final point, the sports festival arc takes so goddamn long.
It does.
Oh
it does. Yeah. And I remember having to like force you to keep going back and keep watching the next episode and just like keep inching forward because it is long, especially if it's like your first real shonen. Yeah, it is really long, but like at least we have discount Batman and King Shark in the crowd shots to keep us entertained. Like I saw them and I was like, wait, is like the whole Justice League here? Anyway. Also it's like just big emotions hidden in Field Day. And like Horikoshi really just wanted to write a slice of life shonen like with superpowers. That's all he wanted to do.
Yes. Yeah. See, that's the thing about this show is that so much is crammed in, is that you've got like all this action and you've got a huge cast and then you've got like all this character development. And I love that. I love character development. But like at the very beginning, I was definitely so overwhelmed by everything that was going on that I just like was having a really hard time getting into it.
Yeah. It can be hard to get into. I definitely see that. Like the first time I watched it took me a while to figure out why my TikTok was covered in My Hero Academia. But then like I think around the camp arc or maybe the Stain arc, I was like, oh, I'm in. Let's go.
Yeah, I think once we finally got around to Endeavor's backstory, I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, this is real shit. Okay, let's go.
Yeah, I was like, oh, they went there. All right.
Yeah, no, it took me about 3 episodes to get into it. But I'm also an anime watcher, so I knew.
Yeah.
But all I had to say for this note was about the show was emotional damage.
Yes. It's perfect. Works on every level.
Every level.
Yep.
And like finally, I tried to think of like if there was like any manga or Easter egg connections, but this episode was like so straightforward. There like really wasn't any. So like the only thing I'm gonna remind y'all of is Fern's connection to Kamino just made me go galaxy brain, and that is all I had. It was beautiful.
Thank you. So any final comments?
We did good. I hope our listeners enjoy the new format.
Yeah, this is our first time doing this. We didn't do a test run or anything, so I think that went well.
All right. Well, this has been My Hero Analysis. See y'all next time. And until then, go beyond plus ultra and thirst responsibly. Bye, y'all.
Thanks again for listening. Theme music is The Happy Cowboy by Gary the Canary, remixed by Fern. If you'd like to submit questions, fan art, or bonus episode topics, visit our website at myheroanalysis.com. We're also on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok under @myheroanalysis. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Bye, y'all.